What makes Dead by Daylight so damn fun? It seems like almost every game, at least one person is going to get extremely frustrated regardless of which side they're playing, so why do people keep coming back? Well, if you ask a new player that question, they might say that hiding from the killer and sneaking around is fun. A new killer might have fun looking for the survivors as well. The thing is, once you play the game past a certain point, and it's not even a very hard point to reach, stealth becomes incredibly boring, which leaves the only fun thing left in the game, the interaction between both teams. Now, to anyone that's played Dead by Daylight past even like 50 hours, it becomes apparent that all of the fun in the game occurs while being chased or while being the chaser. Every other thing each role does in the game is just boring. Searching for 4 immersed Claudettes on the Spirits map is a really boring experience, and holding M1 for 5 gens while your teammates get chased the entire game, it's an awful boring experience. Dead by Daylight is the chase between killer and survivor. That's the whole game. The chase is where all of the skill level of the individual players become apparent, and it's where the better player ends up on top, or at least most of the time. That feeling of outplaying the opposing side is what keeps people coming back over and over again. It's a great feeling when you're on the winning side, and being on the losing side just drives you to get back on the winning side. Now, whether that drive takes you to playing more so you improve at the killer that you're playing, or the drive takes you to play more and get more perks and add-ons that'll help your cause, it makes people stick around and come back. So, if the chase is the central fun component of Dead by Daylight, let's look at all the things you deal with that are not fun. A really good example of this is the doctor. If you've ever gone against a hostage doc before, you know that this is the most boring shit on the planet to go against. For those not in the know, a hostage doc is a doctor that basically throws the entire game to just control 3 very close generators on the map, repeatedly shocking and disrupting progress on those 3 generators until eventually, 20 minutes later, he just can't juggle survivors splitting pressure enough, and he eventually loses. Why is this unfun to go against? Because the doctor isn't doing the one thing that's fun in the game, chasing. He's just going to generators, shocking people off of it. They go into Madness 3, and then they have to run away to safety to go try to get out of, Madness, and then they just kind of hold M1 there. So the survivor who was sitting there bored, holding M1 on a generator, has to go run away somewhere, hold M1 to snap out of it, go back to the generator and hold M1 again. No one is doing the actual fun part of the game. Freddy's like another example. When Freddy goes for map control, which don't get me wrong is not a bad idea on Freddy, he doesn't commit to chases as much. As a result, people just hold one M1 on a generator and then they get put to sleep, and they're forced to flee and go find another generator and hold M1 on it while also mashing spacebar to wake up. So it's just not a very engaging experience. Camping is like another example. Camping absolutely works if you're just looking to pip and not kill all the survivors. Now, does it work because the survivors are all stupid and just dive with the hook oblivious to you while you camp? Well, sometimes. But honestly, a portion of the time, it's just because the survivors are just bored. They're just really bored. When a killer camps, he's not chasing the person that he's camping, so the person that he's camping is bored. His teammates aren't getting chased either. They're also bored. And this is why camping works. It just takes advantage of boredom, not stupidity. That's why I don't understand why people camp without like a really good reason for it. Why are you even playing a multiplayer game at that point? This is why tunneling is so frowned upon too. But at the very least, there's some interaction between the survivor and the killer there. But I mean, if you get unhooked and down a second later, both the killer and survivor are denied the only fun part of the game, which is the actual chase. So, yeah, how does this all actually relate to Legion? Well, the Legion basically emphasizes every single unfun thing about Dead by Daylight, and he is terrible at the one actual fun thing, which is the chase. There are 2 ways to down people with Legion. The first is go feral to tag a survivor, put a timer on them, then cancel your feral state, and just chase them as a 110% move speed killer. Now, I don't know if you've ever chased somebody without a power at that move speed, but it is a terrible experience. It does not matter how good you are, it's terrible. The other option is essentially cheese the game and tunnel the same guy while not really initiating a chase with him until he goes down, which again negates the only fun part of the game, which is the chase, because there's not an actual chase going on with the, whole potential skill and mind games and things like that. It takes no skill to get the initial frenzy hit on someone because of how mobile you are in feral form, and it takes no skill to just follow a guy until he bleeds out. Where's the fun in any of this for either side? It's boring for everybody. After the Spirit, I had faith that Behavior would properly buff the Legion because they honestly did a really, really good job with Spirit, who's now one of the strongest killers in the game, and she's one of my favorites too. However, for some reason, they're so focused on making the whole Deep Wound Feral part the central part of his ability. That's the whole central theme of the killer, but that they're ignoring the fact that that's the most boring part about him. The Legion just annoys people. That's his power. He just annoys people and then makes people hold M1 for 15 seconds. You don't want to focus on that. That's his weak spot. You wanted that to be like a side thing. Kind of like, how Pig has multiple options. like between the traps and the actual dashing thing. Like, you would want that to be a side thing, if anything. Honestly, if Legion was just 150% move speed killer that could vault pallets, even with the same duration stun timer that he has currently, and he didn't have any bleed out or tracking or anything like that, he would still be a better killer than he is now. It's just kind of shocking to see that the developers don't realize they made a killer that promotes every single boring thing about the game for both sides. He is awful in a direct chase to down people, so the killer isn't having fun. He constantly makes survivors have to just stand still and hold him on over and over, which isn't fun. And finally, one of the few remotely successful ways to do decently with him is essentially just focus the same guy down while breaking chase, which is, again, fun for nobody. Absolutely nothing is fun about Legion. He's the most boring killer in the game. And it is my hope that they give him 115% move speed so he can use his unfun portion as a supplement and then be like a good chasing killer and just not have that be his main focus. I want him to be split between the two. And this is a hope that, you know, a large portion of the community has echoed. They want him to have normal move speed. For Spirit, I don't think that's a good comparison because Spirit can actively use her power to very quickly down somebody, and it makes her go very fast. So the fact that she doesn't have normal move speed is completely fine because she can still use her power to down people. Legion cannot do that. He needs to have normal killer movement speed. If he doesn't have that, he's going to just remain terrible. And if, you know, the devs are watching this and they're worried, he's not going to be overpowered if you give him normal killer move speed. There's still going to be 5 killers that are better than him without a doubt. He'll just be decent and not like a pathetic excuse for a killer. So just give the man 115% move speed so he can tag somebody and then initiate a chase. It's kind of like a comparison to Wraith at that point. Then he kind of has the free first hit, but then he still has to chase to get the second hit. While Wraith can sneak up on people, Legion can go feral and tag multiple people at once and delay the game. So they work kind of in a similar way, but it wouldn't be overpowered at all. It would just make him bearable at least, but as it stands right now, the changes they're making show that they don't really understand what's fun about the game, which is a little concerning. But we can hope for the best. I doubt he is done being changed. Spirit was changed quite a few times, so there's still hope for him in this video. It may be completely outdated in, you know, like a month or something like that. But if Legion, you know, stays like this, he will probably be the worst killer in the game, and that's just sad because he's kind of a cool concept, and I really hate to see him not succeed. Especially after they did so well with Spirit. So anyway, that's my rant. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Sorry about the B-roll. I didn't even get any B-roll for playing Legion because he's just that boring. I don't even want to record the B-roll just for playing Legion. Not to mention it's on the PTB and you can't really find a game there anyway. But still, man, I have never had so little fun playing a killer. So hopefully we see some changes, namely giving him normal move speed. I think that would solve most of his issues. But that is it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with this Leatherface game, by the way. I've been doing like speed limiter Leatherface for like the past 20 hours, and no one's escaped, so apparently Leatherface best killer. Alright, I'm out. Later, guys.